quite frankly, there are many within Turkey who believed that some form of attack by Gulen was imminent, and that the government had been fairly studiously unwinding some of his businesses and operations in Turkey. And in fact, there was going to be a further purge of Gulen members of the army in August when the normal rotation occurred. So it's shocking, but at the same time, I guess with hindsight, you can see some of the elements that might lead those within the Gulen organization to undertake such an act.
All right, Robert, without giving too much away, I mean, Secretary of State Kerry says, look, let's not rush into things. We need evidence. In your mind, without giving too much away, is there the evidence to substantiate that Gulen is behind this or was behind this?
Look, it's very early days. I've certainly been informed by the Turkish authorities. There is no question that they have the evidence, and in fact are obtaining more evidence as time goes on. But we're within 36 hours of the coup having taken place. I think what's interesting for Secretary Kerry to look at is all of the evidence our firm has amassed in respect to criminal conduct by the Gulen organization in the United States. President Erdogan's statement, where he says extradition or detention in the United States should be looked at, because there is, on the face of the record in the United States, all sorts of evidence of the Gulen organization's criminal conduct, from H-1B visa fraud to just financial irregularities and fraud in respect to federal and state allocations concerning education funds. As you know, the Gulen organization is the largest organization of charter schools in the United States, taking roughly $500 million out of the U.S. economy every year.
Wow. And Robert, in addition to that, back last year, you filed a civil suit against Gulen in a U.S. court alleging abuse of human rights. Walk us through that.
Essentially, what Gulen has engaged in the United States as well as in Turkey are frequent acts of false imprisonment, where Gulenist prosecutors and judges would team up to falsely imprison those who were ideologically or religiously opposed or politically opposed to Gulen. Unfortunately, that case hasn't prospered because the U.S. court felt that the United States did not have jurisdiction to hear the case. So, sadly, that case will be reverted back to Turkey. But the issue that stood out in that case and in many of the other cases that are now going on in Turkey has been the penetration by Gulen of the judiciary and the prosecution services. It's really been frightening for many people in Turkey.